Dear students, I, Jagandeep Bansal, lecturer chemistry from Meritorious School Patiala, welcomes you all in today's chemistry class. Today we are going to learn about the topic atomic radius from the chapter classification of elements and periodicity in properties. First, we will learn about the definition of term atomic radius. So first, what is atomic radius? So atomic radius, this is the distance of this electron. This is the outermost electron known as valence electron. Distance of this electron from the nucleus. This distance is defined as atomic radius. So as per conventional definition, atomic radius is the distance of outermost electron, this electron, from the nucleus of an atom. This is atomic radius. But as you know, this electron is a wave. It is so its position is not fixed. So it is difficult to find out atomic radius in single atom. So now we will discuss the difficulties that we face in finding out atomic radius in a single atom. So, difficulties in finding out radius of an atom. First, as we have already explained, electron is a particle, so it is not possible to locate exact position of a valence electron. Secondly, we know size of atom is very small, so it is difficult to isolate a single atom. So it is not possible to isolate an atom from an element to measure its radius. Next is size of atom changes from one bonded atom to another. For example, radius or size will be different if atom is forming a covalent bond or it is forming a metallic bond or it is forming no bond. So size of atom changes from one bonded atom to another. So due to these difficulties, we used to find out atomic radius in the bonded state. There are different type of atomic radius on the basis of different bonds. So first is covalent radius. This is in case of covalently bonded atoms. Next is van der Waals radius. Next is metallic radius. This is in the elements where there is a metallic bond. Next is ionic radius. So we will discuss these radius one by one. So first we will start with the covalent radius. So covalent radius, it is found in the atoms which form a covalent bond. These are two atoms which are forming a covalent bond. So these are the nucleus. Distance from this nucleus to this nucleus, this is known as internuclear distance. So covalent radius, it is defined as one half of the distance between nuclei of two covalently bonded atoms of the same element in a molecule. So one half of this distance. So this is internuclear distance. One half of this distance is known as a covalent radius. So covalent radius, this is one half of the internuclear distance. This internuclear distance, this is also known as bond length. So covalent radius can also be defined as one half of the bond length. Next we will find out covalent radius of hydrogen atom. In this case, two hydrogen atoms, they are forming a covalent bond. Here internuclear distance or bond length is 74 picometer. So internuclear distance, this is internuclear distance, this is 74 picometer. So as we know, covalent radius is the one half of internuclear distance. So covalent radius, this is equal to 74 divided by 2, that is 37 picometer. So covalent radius of hydrogen atom is 37 picometer. Next we will discuss van der Waals radius. So these are two molecules. Suppose we have to find atomic radius of these two atoms. So we will bring these two atoms or elements closest possible. So in this case there is no bond. So there are van der Waals forces of interaction. So it is one half of the distance between nuclei of two identical non-bonded isolated atoms or two adjacent identical atoms belonging to two neighboring molecules of an element in solid state. So one half of this distance, this is known as van der Waals radius. So now we will take one example of the van der Waals radius. We will calculate covalent and van der Waals radius of a chlorine. So these are two chlorine atoms. They are forming a covalent bond. These are also forming a covalent bond. And these two molecules, they are van der Waals forces of interaction. So in this case, the internuclear distance between two neighboring chlorine atoms, this is 360 picometer. So one half of this, 180 picometer. This is van der Waals radius. So one half of this distance is van der Waals radius. The internuclear distance between two chlorine atoms, it is 198 picometer. So half of 198, that is 99 picometer. This is the covalent radius. So van der Waals radius of chlorine atom is 180 picometer and covalent radius of chlorine atom is 99 picometer. So next we will discuss metallic radius. This radius is also known as crystal radius. So these are the two metal atoms in a crystal. So this distance between the nucleus, this is known as interatomic distance, and one half of this distance is known as metallic radius. So metallic radius is defined as one half of the distance between two successive nuclei of adjacent metal atoms in a metallic radius. So this is also known as crystal radius. So one half of this interatomic distance, it is a metallic radius. So metallic radius is interatomic distance divided by 2. So metallic radius is the one half of the interatomic distance. So now we will take one example of metallic radius. So we will find out metallic radius of copper. These are two copper atoms from a copper crystal. So this distance is interatomic distance. So one half of this distance, this will be metallic radius of copper. So interatomic radius, interatomic distance in case of copper is 256 picometer. So one half of this, 128 picometer, this will be metallic radius of copper. So till now we have discussed about covalent radius, van der Waals radius and metallic radius, and we have calculated covalent radius, van der Waals radius and metallic radius. Next we will compare different type of radius, that is covalent radius, van der Waals radius and metallic radius. As it is clear from this diagram, in case of covalent radius, this is in case of the atoms which form a covalent bond. So there will be some overlapping. So this is overlapping. So covalent radius is the distance, one half of this distance. In case of metallic radius, there is no overlapping. So metallic radius is one half of this distance. In case of van der Waals radius, there is a gap between two atoms. So one half of this distance is van der Waals radius. So it is clear from this diagram that van der Waals radius will be greatest because there is a gap between two atoms. In case of metallic radius, there is no gap, there is no overlapping. So it will be smaller than van der Waals radius. In case of covalent radius, there is overlapping. So covalent radius will be smaller than metallic radius. So van der Waals radius will be greater, followed by metallic radius, and smallest will be covalent radius. So next in nuclear charge. So atomic radius decreases as we move from left to right. This is due to increase in effective nuclear charge. Next we will discuss variation along it. As we move from top to bottom, we say size is increasing, number of electrons are increasing, but as we move from top to bottom, a new shell is added. So due to increase in number of shells, effective nuclear charge decreases. Therefore, size increases as we move from top to bottom. So atomic radius decreases along a period and atomic radius increases as we move from top to bottom in a group. Next we will discuss ionic radius. Now what is the ion? Ion. It is formed by a atom by loss or gain of electron. There are two types of ions. One is a cation and another is a anion. If an atom is losing an electron, here there are three electrons. So it loses one electron. There are two electrons. So a cation is formed. So a cation is positively charged. It is formed by loss of electron from the neutral atom. Next is formation of anion. So anion is formed by gain of electron. Here you can see there are three electrons and three protons. So it gains what electron? There are four electrons. So there is a formation of negative charge ion which is known as anion. So anion is formed by gain of electron. So now we will discuss atomic radius of cation and anion. So first we will define ionic radius. So ionic radius is the distance from the nucleus of an ion up to which it has influence on the electron cloud. So this is ionic radius. Now we will discuss comparison of ionic radius with the corresponding atomic radius. So first we will discuss the comparison of size of cation with its parent atom. So this is a sodium atom. So sodium forms a cation by losing one electron. So in case of sodium, there are 11 protons, 11 electrons. So 11 protons are attracting 11 electrons. So now sodium is getting converted into an ion. So sodium loses one electron. So it forms a cation. So in this case, there are 11 protons and 10 electrons. So force of attraction increases. So electron will go towards the nucleus. This results in the decrease in size. In this case, effective nuclear charge increases. For example, atomic radius of sodium is 186 picometer. But when it is converted into a cation, its radius is 95 picometer. This is due to increase in effective nuclear charge. So here 11 protons, 11 electrons. Here there are 11 protons, 10 electrons. Now 11 protons are attracting 10 electrons. Therefore force of attraction increases, which results in the decrease in size. Therefore, atomic radius of cation is smaller as compared to parent atom. Next, we will compare size of anion with its neutral atom. Here chlorine, in case of chlorine, there are 17 electrons and 17 protons. So in case of chlorine atom, 17 electrons, they are attracted by 17 protons. So atomic radius of chlorine atom is 0.099 nanometer. So chlorine is converted into chloride ion by gain of electron. So in this case, number of protons remain same, that is 17, but number of electrons increases. So now 18 electrons, they are attracted by 17 protons. So force of attraction, that is effective nuclear charge, decreases. So due to decrease in effective nuclear charge, atomic radius of anion, that is chloride ion, it will be smaller, greater than chlorine atom. So anion is larger in size as compared to parent neutral atom. This is due to decrease in effective nuclear charge. Here 17 protons, 17 electrons. Here 17 protons but 18 electrons. So nuclear charge, effective nuclear charge per electron decreases, which results in the increase in size. Therefore, this anion, this will be larger in the size as compared to the parent neutral atom. So we have discussed about ionic radius. We have compared the size of cation and anion with its parent atom. Here we studied size of cation is always smaller than its parent atom. This is due to increase in effective nuclear charge, and size of anion, this is larger than its parent atom. This is due to decrease in effective nuclear charge. So size of anion, this will be greatest, followed by neutral atom, then size of cation. Next we will discuss about isoelectronic species. So here we will take one example. These are some anions, cations and neutral atom. Here it is nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium. So atomic number of nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, neon 10, sodium 11, magnesium 12, and aluminium 13. Nitrogen is forming a anion. So it has -3 charge. So number of electrons will be 7 plus 3, 10. It is oxygen. It is also forming a anion. So number of electrons will be 8 plus 2, 10. Here number of electrons 9 plus 1, 10. Neon, it is neutral. So number of electrons is equal to atomic number, that is 10. Sodium is forming a cation. It has plus 1 charge. So number of electrons will be 11 minus 1, 10. In case of magnesium, atomic number is 12 and it has plus 2 charge. So number of electrons 10. In case of aluminium, it has plus 3 charge. So number of electrons 10. So we can clearly see these are the species which have different atomic number, but they have same number of electrons. So isoelectronic. Iso means same. Electronic means number of electrons. These are the elements or ions that have equal number of electrons. These are known as iso species. So isoelectronic species are those species which have equal number of electrons. Next we will compare the size of isoelectronic species. So these are different isoelectronic species. So size of isoelectronic species, it is inversely proportional to their atomic number. So greater is the atomic number, smaller will be size. So here size of aluminum cation, this will be smallest. So aluminum followed by magnesium, sodium, neon, fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. So size of isoelectronic species, this is inversely proportional to their atomic number. Greater is the atomic number, smaller will be size. So till now we have discussed about isoelectronic species and size of isoelectronic species. So isoelectronic species are those species which have same number of electrons and their size is inversely proportional to atomic number. So in the today's class we have studied about atomic radius. So first we have discussed about conventional definition of atomic radius. So as per conventional definition, atomic radius is the distance of valence electron from the nucleus of an atom. But then we have studied about there are some difficulties in finding out atomic radius of a single atom, as position of electron it is not fixed. Secondly, it is not possible to isolate a single atom to calculate its atomic radius. So due to these difficulties, we used to find out atomic radius in the bonded state. So there are different type of atomic radius in the bonded state. So this is covalent radius, van der Waals radius, metallic radius and ionic radius. So covalent radius, this is in case of covalently bonded atoms. When there is no bond formation, there will be van der Waals radius. For example, in case of noble gases, there is a van der Waals radius. Then in case of metals, there will be metallic radius. Then we have compared covalent radius, van der Waals radius and metallic radius. We had seen that in case of covalent radius, there is overlapping. In case of metallic, there is no overlapping. And in case of van der Waals radius, there is distance between two atoms. So van der Waals radius is greater than metallic radius and covalent radius is the smallest. Next we have discussed about ionic radius. There are two types of ions, cation and anion. So we have compared the size of cation with its parent atom, compare the size of anion with its parent atom, where we studied that size of cation will be smaller than its parent atom. This is due to increase in effective nuclear charge, whereas size of anion will be greater than its parent atom. This is due to decrease in effective nuclear charge. Then we have studied about variation of atomic radius in a period and group. If we move from left to right, atomic radius decreases. This is due to increase in number of electrons, which in turn increases the effective nuclear charge. But size of noble gases will be greater because in case of noble gases there is van der Waals radius. And in case of group, if we move from top to bottom, there is a addition of a new shell. Due to that, atomic radius increases as we move from top to bottom in a group. Next, we have studied about isoelectronic species. So as the name indicates, iso means same, electronic means electrons. These are the different species, ions or atoms which have same number of electrons. So they are known as isoelectronic species. So same number of electrons. Then we have compared the size of different isoelectronic species. So if there are different isoelectronic species, then their size will depend upon their atomic number because their charge is same. So size will vary according to their atomic number. So in case of isoelectronic species, size is inversely proportional to their atomic number. So greater is the atomic number, smaller will be size. So in case of isoelectronic species, size is inversely proportional to atomic number. So this is all about today's lecture. Now you can find out atomic radius of different atoms. You can compare the different type of radius, how it varies along a period, how it varies along a group. You can compare the size of different isoelectronic species, and have a nice day.